What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're just going to do a little quick video here. Had the opportunity to pull in here and we're going to change out the clutch linkage on our Peterbilt. As you can see, this is my old one right here. So we pulled this off last week, and I'll get into the backstory on that. I got a brand new one on the truck right now. But I need to do a little bit of adjustment on it. If you look at these things on each end, it has these ball bearing, I don't know what you call them. I know there's a name for them, but anyway, they're threaded, and then this whole shaft here is threaded. You got one on each end, so you can turn these either way, and it will either shorten the shaft or lengthen the shaft. So then you got a little set nut here to lock it in place. And as you can see, I had to do a little bit of Hall County customizing on this end. Well, every time I start talking, something loud comes by out there. The wind's supposed to blow about 50 miles an hour today, so that right there is going to be pretty fun. But it is also going to be 70 degrees day here at the, what's it, today, last day of the month, or last day of the year. Well, no, it's not. No, tomorrow's the last day of the year. Today's the 30th. 31st December will be tomorrow, New Year's Eve. So let me go ahead and get this new one off right quick, and it's pretty simple. There's just two 1/2-inch bolts that hold this on each end. One comes off of your clutch pedal linkage part of it, and the other part goes to your transmission. So you got an arm comes up and goes right here. So it's pretty simple, and I will talk more about putting that part of it when we go back together with it. But I want to get my new one off. I can actually, the one that's on the truck right now is too short, so I got too much play in my pedal. And I could actually do it on the truck. All you got to do is break these two lock nuts apart, and then you can twist this shaft right here, and it'll either extend it or bring it down. But I want to take it off so I can show y'all how it actually goes back together. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let me get this one off, and now I'll get back to y'all on the bench with these two to compare and contrast. All right, guys, so we got our new linkage off here. And as you can see, there is a considerable difference right here in the length of these two shafts. This one was a little bit out of kilter due to the modification I had to do to it, and I ran this one for 3 or 4 days until I was able to go get this part in Amarillo. And when I measured them, this one's about a 1/2 inch shorter, and I thought, well, maybe that's a 1/2 inch in the right direction. Well, that in my line of work, it never goes in my favor. So what we're going to do is I need to extend this one out to the length of this one. So what I'll do is I'm going to bust these two set nuts loose right here, 3/4 inch, and this thing is one side is reverse threads and one side is regular threads. Therefore, that way they can work in unison. It's better if you have a vise, which I got a vise on the other table, but that table was a mess, so I came over here to set up. Man, that sucker's tight. We might have to go to the vise. All right, so we got some better wrenches here. We are making a video on how to adjust the clutch linkage on a Peterbilt. I ended up having to put a new linkage on here. clutch linkage. This one pulled the threads out of it the other day. We had some visitors there, but so we got this end loose right here. We're gonna break this side loose. There we go. All right, we got it loose. I think the whole camera moved, didn't it? All right, so we're loose on both ends. So now what you want to do, we're gonna take it out to this end. So what I want to do, instead of extending it completely on this end, I like to do them pretty much even. So a good way to do that, you can hold it, back your set nuts off, lock nuts off. And if you can kind of hold it on this end or something and spin the hose, you gotta find something to put in it. There we go. I can hold them straight. So we need to extend it out. We need to go this way. All right, there's about 4 turns. Let's see where that gets us at. Man, that is pretty dang close. Looks like I need to go just a hair bit more. That looks pretty well spot on, maybe just a tad. And there we go. So now we're squared up even on both ends. So we got our length right. So now you just take your lock nuts. You want to make sure that these don't spin on you. You want them, the way it bolts up, they need to be square, you know, with each other on each end. So tighten up your lock nut. Got some burrs on there. It ain't wanting to get that one tight. The way I like to do it, I like to line these up with the flat spot on the hex where that's sitting flat. There you go. Same way here. That one right there, that's a reverse thread on this side. Sound like Uncle Adam's here. I figured he was going hauling a load of seed today. Get them good and tight. And there you go. That's how you adjust your linkage. Now we'll show y'all, we'll go over here to the truck and we'll show y'all how it installs on the truck. Okay, so you got a 1/2 inch bolt here that holds, and it's a fine threaded bolt. So you need to remember that. These are also 1/2 inch fine threaded as well. So you need to make sure if you do any kind of fabbing or whatever, you got you some fine thread bolts and nuts. It's real imperative that you keep these have these 3 washers too. I will show y'all why. Your first, up here on the front, come up here to transmission, you see this. There's an arm. Couple different angles here. You got an arm here. This one's the one that goes down to your throwout bearing and whatnot in your transmission. This is where you attach that linkage on the front. We'll install this linkage at the front first. It's always easier. Go from the front. You just want to make sure when you're running your linkage toward the back, you're not putting it between any of your air lines or whatever there on the side of your splitter on your transmission. Now the key is here on these 3 washers I was talking about. You want to take 2 of them off, leave 1 on. You want to put your bolt through your clutch lever there. Go ahead and put rest our linkage right there right quick. Then get our second washer. It's going to go on this side of the lever. Then get your linkage in place. Put your last washer on. Get your nut. Get it started. Alright, so I got my mic hooked back up there. Audio might be a little better. Sorry about that if I messed up the audio there on that part. But anyway, we got our bolt started, got our linkage put on that side. So we're going to take our 3/4 wrench. And I like these little, got this little right angle. It's a cheapie from O'Reilly's, right angle drive 3/8 ratchet electric one, but I like it because it's low torque. And I got a bigger one, 3/8 drive in Milwaukee, but it's a higher torque, and I like this lower torque because I can just go and get stuff snugged up, and then I can finish when I get it done. I can tighten it up with some wrenches or whatever, and not run the risk of over tightening anything. So we got the front done. Now we're gonna move down to the back. All right, so we're underneath the truck now. This is the lever that comes off of your clutch pedal inside the truck. We already got our bolt started here. I always usually leave my bolt in there. That way I don't run the risk of putting it in backwards the next time or whatever and getting the linkage out of kilter. So of course we got the head of the bolt, we got our washer, we got our inside washer. Now we'll put our linkage on. We're gonna run it up. Like I said, kind of keep an eye out. You got all these air lines and whatnot right here. Just make sure you're not getting jammed up in any of those. Come right here. Get your linkage started. Find our washer. Got my washer nut laying here somewhere. Got my nut. Where's my washer at? Excuse my grunting, I'm fat, y'all. All right, reach up here. We're right here on the driver's side of our transmission here working. And that started. Grab our right angle drive. Got it tight. Now just get 2 wrenches on it just to make sure it's good and snug. Oh yeah, we're in good shape. Alright, so we're down here at our bell housing. Look up here where you see your throwout bearing. And so the adjustment for the on the linkage, adjust your clutch fork here. You see your clutch fork right here on the front. See if we're focusing. Yeah, right here. And then it's also over here on this side. Right. I'm trying to look at it through the camera there, guys. There you go. It's right there. So it's on both sides, and what that does, that fork pushes this throwout bearing right here up against your clutch brake right here and gets it stopping. So that linkage adjusts this, and you're supposed to have like a, I can't remember what the spec is, but it's about a 1/16 of an inch, and pretty much what we go off of is inside the cab, 2 inches, about 2 inches of free travel. So that's adjusts your fork here. You can see your cross shaft where it comes in. This goes out the passenger side to a bushing out there, and then on this side, this goes out to that arm right here, which is where that linkage is bolted up top in the front. Right here you got your clutch brake. So your clutch brake, it moves on your input shaft there. And then this gap right here is supposed to be a half inch gap, and you adjust it with your adjustment bolt on your clutch, which is right here, which you spin it around where you get on the bottom. You use a 5/8 socket and a pry bar, and you pry in on it and spin it a couple times till you get your half inch of clearance right here between your clutch brake and your throwout bearing. So that's just a little brief, quick example of what we're talking about. There's my little camera set up for underneath here. I'm using my phone right now. Get it out before I forget it and run over it. So I'd like to thank y'all for sticking around with us today. Get my old got service the other day. Shout out to LubeZone, fastest back. If you got a LubeZone in your area, or if you're ever passing by one, go check them out. Let them know the 806 driver sent you. They'll take care of you for all your truck service needs. So I told y'all I would let you know why I was having to replace this linkage, whatever. Well, my clutch brake went out the other day and was getting wore out. And when we put this 6NZ in here, we pulled the motor that we broke the crank on. We pulled it out, pulled the 15 speed out. We put this motor and a 13 speed in. Well, I told them when they put it in to put a 2050 torque clutch in, and I told them when they put the clutch brake in to put a 2-piece. That way it's easy to replace whenever you got to replace one. Well, they put a 1-piece in. So to get it out, you got to cut it out. You got to take the transmission out, pull it off, slide a new one on, or you can cut it out. Of course, pulling the transmission out is a pretty damn big ordeal just to replace the clutch brake. So I did the unorthodox method. I took an air chisel and I broke through it, broke all the material out of it, and then I made this little tool right here. I've seen it on YouTube. This is a 3/4 inch socket extension, and it's 8 inches long. What I did right here, where it has the little dowel pin where you put your socket on the end of it, I just ground it out. Now you grind it up to where it's just the right width to where it will fit over that clutch brake in there. Then you put your, of course I have an adapter to reduce it down to a 1/2 inch. I took my Milwaukee impact over here, and you put it over that clutch brake and you just hammer on it and it will break it. It'll break it out. The only thing you'll have left is that little ring that rides on the input shaft that locks that clutch brake into place. So I got my torch out and I turned it down the lowest I could, and I just went up there with that torch and I burned that ring out in about 2 different spots where it fell off. Never hit the oxygen on it to blow it off. I just got it hot enough that it was able to melt it without getting anything else hot in there, and it worked like a champ. It took me a little while to get it done, but while I was up in there, for some reason, when I twisted it with this, it kind of got in a bind and it was spread out in there. So I got in. I said, well, hell, I'll just push on the clutch and kind of compress that a little bit to where it'll stay in place. And when I pressed my clutch, I guess I don't know, something happened, and it on my old this out so y'all can see. On my old linkage here, it pulled the threads on this end. So what I ended up doing, I tried to tap it, but this is aluminum, so it don't tap very well, or it would tap very well, but it was flared and I couldn't get no threads back in it. So I ended up cutting about a 1/2 inch off of this rod. And then what I did, I found I had some grade 8 bolts, 1/2 inch bolts back here, fine thread. I cut the head off of that bolt and I threaded it down in here. It's down in here pretty good ways, and it comes out through this nut, and then this eyelet here and that 1/2 inch bolt, grade 8 bolt that's inside, they meet in the middle on this nut here, and they're all jammed together to keep it tight. And that actually worked. It worked pretty good. I wouldn't trust it for like long-term use, but to get you out of a bind, keep you from getting in a pickle, it worked. I ran it for about 3 days, and then of course my new linkage came in and I changed it out. So this one right here is going to stay under my bunk. I'm going to put it under my bunk just in case I ever have a problem with that one. I got a spare and I can change it out. Something you can do on the roadside real easy. So that's kind of what we got into with the clutch brake issue. It's lunchtime. I'm about to go to lunch. I'm going to clean out underneath my bunk after lunch. We got a trailer at the gym we got to go pick up and bring back. It's a rental trailer we use. We're done with the gym, y'all. We're finished. So we're looking for work right now. We got to figure out what we're going to do for the next 6 weeks till the fertilizer really kicks off. But I'm sure something's going to rock our way, come down our path, and we'll find something to do. So 70 something degrees out here, next to the last day of December, next to the last day of the year, and the wind is blowing like crazy. But we're gonna make do with it. We're gonna get this trailer fixed this afternoon, and we'll see y'all on the next. So I appreciate everybody that was on the live last night. We had a little trouble right there at the end. My grandson playing on his little hoverboard, and he fell and hit the corner of the entertainment center and got a big old pop knot on his back of his head, and ended up having to take him to the emergency room. Everything's good though. Everything checked out fine. He just got a pop knot. So but he's doing good. So but I appreciate all y'all hanging out with us on the live. You got to see him on there. You got to see one of my other grandsons, Hayden, on there as well, and Miss 806. So I appreciate all y'all hanging up. Appreciate the support. Be sure to hit the like button, share the video out, and we'll see y'all on the next. Keep the shiny side up and the hammer down. Maybe one of these days we'll be coming through your town. It's the only thing I can think of that rhyme. Let's get out of here. Let's go eat.